Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Absinthe Allure. I'm a burlesque performer and producer of Speakeasy Review. In today's video, we're going down the rabbit hole of pasties. If you've not yet seen my brief history of burlesque video, I highly recommend checking that out first. That way you have a better understanding of some of the historical and political components that lead to the necessity of pasties that we'll be going deeper into today. I also want to take a second and just make sure we're all on the same page that historically, things have been looked at very binarily, especially when it comes to laws and policing people's bodies. So we will be talking quite a bit about men and women, more on a binary, less on a spectrum, as we talk about these laws. That being said, as I'm sure it'll be real clear here in a second, pasties applied to everybody and everyone was affected by the laws created around people's bodies and the need for pasties in burlesque. I also think it's important to point out that yes, we're looking at it from a historical context, but truly not a ton of things have changed in the realm of pasties and why we wear them since burlesque performers began stripping in the 1920s. It's also important to understand that today, laws vary state to state and country to country, and what might be legal and allowed in one state might be cause for years of jail time in another state. And so it's always important to understand the laws around your body locally, as ever-changing as they are, as well as kind of take that into consideration when we talk about the performance community as a whole and why we do the things we do. So first off, what are pasties? These bad boys are examples of reusable burlesque pasties. Pasties come in all shapes, sizes, materials. These ones are reusable. These ones have sticky backings that you can just reapply, stick on, call it good. Other pasties, especially ones that you buy online or at your nearest adult store, usually are one-time use. They're stickers. You stick them on for the night, call it good. You probably aren't wearing pasties super often. For those of us who wear pasties multiple times a month, so many times, reusable pasties are much more cost-effective in the long run. They're also much more customizable, much more fun, and hold up better. Pasties, sometimes called modesty shields or nipple covers, are used to cover certain body parts that cannot be shown to the general public in a burlesque performance. This might seem common sense to some of us, but some of us are brand new here. So we're gonna go over all the things. Taking it back to the beginning of striptease and burlesque, we're talking about the 1920s. There was already a lot of rules, regulations, policing happening in that sphere. The whole point of burlesque is that it's political, it allows people to express their sexuality and gender identity, and especially at that time, like, bodies in general, problematic. How dare you have a body? Amazing appeals to burlesque performances was that they continued to push the boundaries of what was accepted, both from a social aspect, breaking down purity culture, and also what was legally allowed. And these are some crafty ass babes, and we're gonna get into that part for sure. Because when policeman comes knocking at your club and saying, hey, you gotta cover shit up or else we're gonna drag you to jail, you make something fun. If I have to cover up, I might as well make it pretty and make you stare at it. You're not missing this. I'm wearing it. Sure, whatever. The craftiness and quite frankly the malicious compliance takes a step even further because, okay, now we have to wear pasties, but you're still coming in here and trying to arrest me while making sure that I'm wearing pasties. What was the solution to this problem? Tassels, baby. Burlesque performers began putting tassels on their pasties, so that way if someone comes knocking, they can open the door, see these things dangling around, and know that that performer is in fact wearing pasties. And this whole thing was very like if you give a mouse a cookie, where if you put a tassel on a pasty, we're gonna learn to spin them. And thus, tassel twirling is born and popularized. At least, this is kind of the urban myth that gets passed down from burlesque performer to burlesque performer. So now that the fun story is out of the way, let's talk about who wears pasties and why. The big pillars of burlesque are that they're political, they force you to reevaluate your views of sexuality, and they often mess with gender roles and gender expression. The queer history of burlesque performers goes all the way back. So it's always been a very nuanced and difficult topic to tackle when it comes to thinking of things in a binary sense, which unfortunately is the way that society has treated people and bodies and laws for way too long. A long time. This means that by law, some burlesque performers are required to wear pasties, while some are not required to wear pasties. You could have a show where one burlesque performer gets arrested for not wearing anything on their chest, and the next one, because their body is different and perceived differently, is totally fine. Some people are gonna be watching this and be like, well, yeah, duh, like, this chest is different than this chest for these Go away. Why are you here? Why are you here? Go. Shoot you. The rest of you who are still here, nuance. We love nuance. And quite frankly, so do the majority of burlesque performers from our history. They saw that some people were required to follow these rules while others were not, and collectively went, yikes, that's not cool, not a fan of this. And this began the tradition of all burlesque performers wearing pasties. Yes, of course, they're an amazing costume piece. You gotta have that big final reveal somehow. And this creates a fun, customizable, sparkly focal point. Yes, you can do tricks with them. You can put tassels on them and you can do a whole tassel twirling routine. But also, it's a sign of respect and also acknowledgement that everyone's bodies are policed differently, regardless of how you identify, because not everybody gets the same treatment. We are leveling the playing field so everyone adheres to the same rules as a sign of respect, as an homage to the history of pasties, and as a sign of the burlesque community at large coming together and supporting each other in this. This means that it's incredibly common to see both men and mask-presenting performers wearing pasties alongside their women or femme-presenting counterparts. In fact, the other day I taught a tassel twirling class, and we have a handful of more masculine or male-presenting performers who took part and had a blast and brought their own sparkly pasties that were just glittering all over the place. Big fan. Love that. Not only, again, does it show respect for the art form, respect for the history, but it also acknowledges that right this very second, across the United States, some bodies are being policed more than others, and some people happen to be losing more rights than others, and frankly, just having their autonomy slowly chipped away. Love it. So really, if you're a burlesque performer or somebody who performs burlesque adjacent, who is able to wear pasties in their performances, I highly recommend you do so. Not just because of the history of it, but also for, again, the happening right now of it all. It's an easy way to not only sparkle up your costume, create a new fun, interesting piece, maybe pick up a new talent of tassel twirling, but also acknowledge your privilege, but it also acknowledges your privilege of not having your body policed in the same way as others. Whether that be something that you just hold near and dear to yourself and no one else has to know unless maybe they are in the know. It could be something that you talk about. Somebody compliments you on your pasties. Thank you so much. I wear them in honor of those who have to. It's an easy sentence. And whoever you're talking to can just like walk away and be like, that was kind of a weird interaction. Like, what was that? Or more likely, they're gonna ask more questions because what do you mean you wear them out of respect for those that have to? They look so fun. Why would anyone have to wear them? Well, the long history of policing bodies and ooh, yikes. At the end of the day, it is my personal opinion that burlesque is here to open up a dialogue about politics and sexuality and gender expression. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's sparkly. Yes, it can be funny. It's entertainment, but maybe entertainment that makes us take a second and think a little bit. Once again, my name is Absinthe Allure. If you enjoyed this video and learned something about pasties, feel free to give it a like. Comment down below any other questions that maybe you have about pasties or different costume pieces and why we wear them. It may even inspire a future video. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you've not already. I'm getting back into YouTube. I'm bringing all the information back to you guys, and I think it's a pretty good resource, if I do say so myself. And if you agree, hit that little subscribe button, get more information about burlesque, whether you're trying to be a burlesque performer yourself or you're just interested. I love having you here. So I will see you in my next video, and until then, goodbye.